Alright, my friends, welcome to episode 183 of Prof and Dev Play Games, live, not live, somewhat live, from Seattle. I'm the professor Larry at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Over there is Anthony the Dev at SummerSpeak, and I am staring right at him.
I know, it's crazy. It's been 2 whirlwind days of lots of stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're both a little tired at this point. It's kind of setting in.
Doing a lot of walking, a lot of standing in the lines. Up here at Emerald City Comic Con, basically hanging out and checking out all the Critical Role stuff that's been going on. I think this episode we're going to talk about what we've been doing at the Emerald City Comic Con. There's comics, D&D, a lot of tabletop gaming. Then we'll talk about the video games we're playing, some Switch games, and anything else besides Switch games?
You played a 3DS game.
Oh, that's right. I did play a 3DS game. So, a bunch of Nintendo games that we will talk about. But we're going to start with Emerald City Comic Con. And our first thing that we did, we went to the Critical Role panel.
Yes. And even before that, we arrived 2 hours early to get to this panel.
That's true.
Which was a correct choice.
Yes. We had friends who were cruising around on buses coming to Emerald City Comic Con to go to this panel. And on the bus ride, they look at their app. And
about an hour and a half, about 90 minutes before it started.
They said it was full.
It was full. 2,000 people, capped room.
Yeah.
To see Critical Role. Basically, just have a Q&A.
Yeah, it was less panel than I thought it was going to be. I thought they would be I thought they'd be saying more things and then do like half panel, half Q&A, but it was mainly like 90% Q&A.
Yeah.
They went right into the questions pretty quickly.
And it was good. Like, the actual, like, how they answered the questions was nice. It wasn't as simple as, like, yes, no.
Yeah.
Short answers. Like, they bounce things around between of each other. Like, I'd allow that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They had some nice inside jokes. So it was a lot of fun. They did talk quite a bit about their Kickstarter campaign, which is up to, $7.5 million right now?
Yep. Just hit that today.
They wanted $750,000 to do an animated series.
No, one animated special.
One show about the origins of Vox Machina, basically, right?
Yeah.
And now they are doing a, 8 or 9 episode series so far, based on the money?
Yeah, I believe they're up to 6 or 7 right now. Mm-hmm. And there's one more stretch goal for the final 2. Oh, okay. So I think there'll be 8 episodes actually at the end of that.
Yeah, sounds like 8. So yeah, really just, I think a lot of people are getting into D&D and tabletop gaming through Critical Role. And you've been playing D&D since high school, right? Or
I never played in high school.
You just had the books?
Not in high school.
Really?
Never. D&D wasn't my jam in high school. It was, let's see, some of the first role-playing books I ever got were, I played Mage with a friend that you set me up with to play with that game with, through my senior year, and that was, the first time I played, actually. And then I had Cyberpunk.
Oh, you're talking about Luke, right?
Yeah. I had Cyberpunk 2020 was, one of the first books I ever picked up. Mm-hmm.
So you started playing at college then, D&D?
College was whenever I actually had a chance to be on that one time with Luke, probably, year that I played with Luke, senior year high school.
Right.
It was college where I was like, oh my god, other people play.
Yeah.
And we didn't play D&D.
You played other...
I mean, I got D&D. I got 3rd edition D&D when it came out because I was excited for it.
Yeah.
And I played a little bit of it here and there, but we played a lot of GURPS.
Oh, yeah.
Generic Universal Role-Playing System, which is super insane. The amount of source books that you have for the thing and the amount of referencing you do through all these source books based on your character that you've crazily made. But that's what me and my friends played. And we played a bunch of that for years. And I ran a Cyberpunk 2020 game for a year.
I feel like if you start with
I met my wife. My future wife.
Through role-playing?
For Cyberpunk 2020.
Oh my gosh.
She was the netrunner in my game.
Oh wow. Hey, there you go.
And we were able to hang out more. I think we both wanted more time around to get to know each other, and this was a very good avenue for socializing.
Calling each other up in the middle of the night, wanting to have another role-playing session?
Exactly. That's exactly how it went.
In quotes. I feel like starting with GURPS, if there is a ton of references to do, doing Dungeons and Dragons would be a little easier, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And even now, 5th edition.
It is much easier.
But it struck me playing, this is the first weekend that I really played quite a bit of Dungeons and Dragons. And it struck me on how much like a video game it is, or I should say how much inspiration video games took from Dungeons and Dragons. So we had this quest, we were doing Adventure League, and we had there was a narrative quest for us to go on, and it was fairly linear, but it was wide linear, where we did have leeway to make certain choices and do certain things. There was a point where I asked, there was like a shopkeeper, and he had like a painting gallery or something like that, and we're in there like inspecting his paintings, and I was like, hey, do you give lessons, paint lessons or whatever? And it was basically like an NPC having like 2 or 3 different answers, and the answer was basically, no, I don't do that. So it was like narrowly defined options that the Dungeon Master was providing for us because he wanted us to kind of move forward with the narrative. So we did have a little bit of choice, maybe an illusion of choice, I don't know. But it felt like the structure of a video game, like you have the main quest and the side quests and NPCs and all of those things that we see in modern video role-playing games seem to have all come from this.
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a lie whenever you can say most designers in the industry today have some roots in tabletop gaming.
Mm-hmm.
This whole industry is built off of Gary Gygax and what he created back in the 70s.
Right, and obviously rolling dice for doing different things. Like a lot of things that are happening in the games are hidden or covering like random number generators.
Yeah, and then some don't. Some like just put it straight out there, like any of the games that are trying to be D&D. You can just see all the dice rolls that are happening.
Yeah,
but there's definitely the RPG genre completely and totally is based around this. And yes, role-playing games on tabletop can be completely freeform, but you have to have a party and DM that want to do that.
Right.
And want to allow for that level of, like, do absolutely everything. You listen to Critical Role, you see others stream. Most players are okay sticking to the story for the most part. They understand when the DM puts a hook out there, kind of their job as players should be, we're trying to tell this story together.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say, I ignore your hook. I'm going to go to this other part of the town or world and do my own thing over here. I'm going to actually not do your hook.
I'm going to kill your NPC.
I'm going to kill your NPC. Actually, can I just start a business here? I'm just going to do the whole campaign as I'm just going to start trying to amass money, buy a shop, and start selling pies. Which isn't maybe fun for that person, but I bet it's not fun for the rest of everyone playing.
Yeah, we were playing a one-shot basically this weekend, and there was a player with us who all he wanted to do was give people soap. And it was like not narratively fun, but it was something that was fun for him, but it really didn't advance the story at all, and that's similar at least.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Skyrim where you could kill NPCs before they gave you a quest and you never had that quest?
Yep.
So I just see parallels like the open world nature of video games and how to give players complete freedom maybe means there's no structure to the game. So you want to have enough structure to like give some sort of through line, even if there's a lot of side stuff to do.
Yeah.
Like The Witcher, the side stuff still was really narrative heavy. So,
yeah. And another way to run a D&D game that is probably heavier on GM, kind of like DM creation at the upfront, is a very sandbox game, where you just give them a map, and you've littered that map. You have just sheets and sheets and sheets of being like, if they move to this part of the world map, there's these quests there. It is literally what video games are based on.
Right.
Like, it's the exact same style, and there's a complete sandbox style of playing of D&D, where quests are just littered throughout the world. Players just do whatever they want.
Do they basically see them as markers on the map?
No.
Okay.
The GM has to tell you. You go into town and you see this stuff on the notice boards, or you talk to the barkeep and see what rumors are happening in the town. Like, this is all standard role-playing tabletop stuff, but a lot of people, sandbox games can grind to a halt. They're not pacing is really hard on that. Like, right. But it's not usually for people who want very systems-heavy D&D games.
Yeah.
They're wanting to go out and go into dungeons, fight monsters, get the loot, get back. Like, right. Grind factions or try to, like, there is role playing to it, but it's very different than what you see on Critical Role.
Yeah.
Where those players are all into this very narrative heavy play. Mercer definitely has a through line to his story.
Yeah. And
the players are bought into that and are willing to go with that through line because they know that what they've already sent is getting worked back into it.
Yeah.
It's this constant evolving thing. Basically, I think of it as all these different shooting stars circling around like a central thread moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. They're not all on the same line. They're kind of deviating,
they're circling,
orbiting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about the tabletop is that those players, like Critical Role, for example, they come to the table with their backstory that they created, and then they've given it to the DM, and then it's up to the DM to weave some pieces of that or not into the overarching narrative. So it's fun for them to kind of see those things come into play. Whereas when you're building characters in RPGs, even if you, like, for example, Pillars of Eternity 2, if you choose a preset character, they have a preset backstory that does fold into the story, which is interesting, but you didn't create that. If you did create a character, none of your backstory gets folded.
Exactly. And that's one of the benefits and boons of tabletop. And having another... You're not talking to a computer. The person running the game is another person with a mind who can do all those intricate logical connections of things, the creative part that a computer can never do.
Right.
Even the best AI can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, obviously it's the foundation. There are limitations, but it's something that you've seen for a long time, obviously, because you came from tabletop, or you've been doing both of them together. But I never really did tabletop until this weekend, and I started to see like just how many connections there really were, and it was really cool to see.
Yeah, I had a blast. I loved it. Even just doing. Yes, we had that 1 hour one with the full group and the one party member that just really wanted to do his own thing.
Yeah,
like come hell or high water, he was gonna have his 100 bars of soap, and he was gonna give people soap and try to kill people with soap. I'm
shrugging right now.
I know, it's sure.
Oh my god.
We always have those people.
This morning it was nice because we sat down to do it again, and there were only a couple people there. So then we sat down with one other person who was just there to kind of help the story go. It's basically just you and me doing a 2-hour campaign, basically, or 2-hour one-shot or whatever, adventure. And I think it gave me a lot more room to like experiment and say things, because with the big group I barely said anything because there was just no room to say anything. 7
is pretty big.
Yeah.
I will say my ideal size is about 4 people in a party. DM plus 4 people.
Yeah,
makes a pretty good. 5 can be done. It kind of breaks down after that. I'm fairly impressed with like Critical Role that they can do 6 people.
Yeah.
And 7 sometimes.
Actually, yeah.
That's a big group.
Yeah.
But they are also good about stepping back and letting the spotlight jump between who needs it.
Right.
But they've been playing a long time together. It's really hard to get that out of strangers that you just sit down at a table with.
Right, because everybody wants to be doing the thing.
Yeah.
And you can't all do the thing at the same time. And that was the thing that was the hard part about the first game, where the second game, for 2.5 hours, was basically just you and me and the DM. So we both got equal chances to try things. And, with a big group like that, for just an hour, you try to, like, build something, but then you never get back to it. So it's on to someone else.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's just cool to see narratives build, see the quest structure, like a lot of those things, just the parallels were really, really cool to see for me.
Yeah.
Other Critical Role stuff, we did some photo shoots.
We did.
Matt Mercer and Laura Bailey. So basically it's really quick.
Yeah. You say hi and shake hands, and you're great.
Take a quick photo.
And stare at the camera. Click, next.
Thank you, next. Like, whoa, okay, bye. And then I went and did a signing with Sam Riegel, one of the Critical folks, which was really nice because it got more time with them. They weren't like pushing you off. We got to talk a little bit. Got a signature, handshake, selfie. Yeah, I don't know. It felt a little more intimate, which was nice. Although you could tell it's just like he'd been there for a long time.
I mean, this is second day here.
Yeah.
This is last signing, probably the last signing group of the day for him.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think they did signings both days, at least some.
Sam did both, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, most of them had 5 signing slots.
Okay.
So 5 slots to sign.
Yeah, it must get tiring by the end of the day.
Yeah. That's
2 days. It's like, and they're probably flying. How about you bet they're flying back tonight?
God, I hope not, but maybe. Yeah.
Should we
relax?
So we're in a hotel by the airport doing this whole thing. We could walk over there. Maybe they'll come in through the airport somewhere.
Just hang out.
Just hang out. You're like, look at, we're D&D groupies.
Can we get your autograph again? No, it was a lot of fun, and I think other stuff at the con, just seeing the artists. There were tons of like video game mashup art, and even just like straight just video game art, like a lot of Aloy art that I saw, different kinds of like chibi or like I don't know art, but different styles of art.
Yeah,
like Horizon Zero Dawn, or lots of Zelda art, and then the comic book artists. There was just a bunch of things to do. And then at the end, seeing that guy, I forget what the game was called.
Elsinore.
Elsinore, that's it. There's a game called Elsinore that's coming out this summer, which is basically something like
Hamlet meets Groundhog's Day.
Yeah,
that's the premise for it. It is Hamlet. You play Ophelia. You've woken up, I think, from a dream where everyone, your family, and Hamlet, and everyone has died. Hamlet, and you start having to try to prevent it by talking to the other characters to get them to do events in different orders.
Yeah.
But the day repeats.
And you're trying to like puzzle out like what order is best and how to figure it out. It looks really cool. I actually bought it on site because that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Shakespeare plus Groundhog's Day, that works for me. But there weren't a ton of video games there. There in that section.
No, there was a lot of in that little section they call the annex part of the convention center.
Yeah.
There was a few. There's a few things set up where people were demoing just some indie games. Yeah. Nothing big. Nothing that beyond that was the only one that really struck me. The other ones were puzzle-ish things and fighting games. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I think it was a whirlwind of a weekend and really successful. Lots of awesome art, and to see the Critical Role team just was inspiring and amazing.
Yeah. They're so humble for how insane things are around them now.
They really are. Shit's just coming out of their heads, and they're getting just so much adoration.
4 years ago. They started 4 years ago, and this is where they're at.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, we're going to stream our D&D game online where people can watch it.
Right. Smart. I mean, their voice skills really sold the beginning, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We got to go back and watch that campaign.
We do.
So if you video game friends haven't listened to Critical Role and not really into D&D, I suggest you just check it out and see what it's like.
Yeah, start with the second campaign.
Yes, definitely. So production values are better.
Yeah, it's probably much easier to just start into. They don't have to go through the pain of the first campaign as they figure out how to stream D&D.
Yeah.
Technical wise, how to get sound set up, and then also how to actually perform D&D in a way that's compelling for people to watch.
Yeah, exactly. It's entertaining. Because I've heard, ever since Critical Role started, I've been trying to find some other ones as well, and it's just not the same because it's not, the entertainment isn't there so much. Because it doesn't translate entirely. You really got to build the narrative up. So, yeah, overall, good experience. I'm glad to be up here in Seattle. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a good time.
We've also been playing a lot of video games.
It's true. When we had time, sitting in lines.
Yes. And sitting on a plane.
Yeah, you had on a plane.
So I had 3 hours on my plane ride to come up here from San Diego and decided to play Link to the Past. I already started it, so I had already gotten one pendant in the light world, whatever. So I got 2 more pendants, one in the lower...
the desert?
Is that the desert? Yeah, the lower left hand?
Yeah.
Okay, and then in the tower. And then went to get the Master Sword in the forest. I just really like the puzzles. Like, it's just really smart and straightforward so far. I think when I get to when I'm in the other world now, the dark world, where I can switch between the 2 different worlds at will with the mirror, basically.
Yeah.
It seems like it's going to be a lot more difficult to figure out where I am in the light world and then switch over to get something to come back to the dark world. It seems like it's going to get a lot more intense.
Yes, you will be asked a lot more out of you in that process.
Like, puzzle-wise, right?
Puzzle-wise, yeah.
Right. Which I'm okay with. It's an interesting setup where you basically get the pendants, get the sword, and you're like, oh, this game is, trucking right along. And then it switches you over to the dark world, and you're like, okay, now you've got 7 dungeons to go through. And I think they're all bigger than anything in the first part.
A little bit, yeah. Or the equal size or bigger. Mm-hmm. Like, really, the first part of the game is only about a third of the game.
Yeah.
So, maybe a quarter. I'd have to think again exact. It's been so long. It's been so long since I've played through that game.
Yeah, when's the last time you played through it? You've replayed it, I'm sure.
I replayed it... When was the last time? I think I replayed it through emulation in college, but I haven't touched it since then.
Since then? Oh, wow. Well, the guy that we went to a Critical Role meetup at a bar, and sitting next to a guy, and he had like a Legend of Zelda wallet in the backpack. I was like, commenting on it. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm really into Legend of Zelda. I said, I'm just getting into it. I've beaten a couple of games, and I'm just starting Link to the Past right now. And he was just like, I wish I were you. I wish I could erase my memory and have that game all over again.
It's that good.
First time. It feels like a masterpiece, and I'm only, like you said, a third of the way through it.
Yeah. It has twists. Mm-hmm. Like, you've had your lifetime of somewhat being spoiled on it.
Yes.
Like, there's a dark world.
Yep.
As a kid, playing that game in 91, whenever it came out,
yeah,
I had no clue there was a dark world.
Right.
I was just playing the game.
Yeah.
And then you go to the dark world, and you're like, holy shit, what is this game? Like, what am I doing? It blew my mind as a kid.
And that first time you go through and you're like, why am I a bunny?
Yeah. And you're like, I can't. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
But as a kid, video games hadn't done that before to me. Like, that's the game that really had that first initial big twist of being like, oh man, I've got a lot more time to play this game.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt when I got through, and it said that I had to the Dark World. And it said I had 7 women or maidens.
Maidens, because they're from the descendants of the elders,
right?
That sealed Ganon away.
Right. That's like twice as many as I did in the first side. Like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of game there, which is great. It's on my list. There are 12 games this year that I've started that I want to finish this year, and this is, I think, the second one I'm attempting. So
nice.
I might play some more on the plane on tomorrow when I leave, or I might play some Messenger. But before I get into the Messenger, what else have you been playing?
Well, we played a lot of Smash.
Yeah, we played a lot of Smash Brothers. The local play is great.
It is so easy.
Yeah.
It just goes. You're just like, create local game, choose your rules, and then the client, whoever else, just show me local games around. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Join.
It's awesome.
It was super easy.
We just did a lot of random characters. We didn't choose any.
Yeah, just random map. Go.
Learning new characters has been a lot of fun. I played a lot of characters with you that I've never touched.
Yeah.
And some of them don't fit my playstyle, and some of them are pretty good.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it quite a bit. It's still a great game. There's so much there.
Yeah, a lot of content. Do you have any favorite characters from what you played this weekend?
I want to get better at Cloud. That was fun. I want to figure out how his limit break works. Really enjoyed that. I mean, can we go wrong with Zero Suit Samus ever?
No, she's the best. She's my favorite character.
She's so fast.
I made sure not to play her this weekend.
I understand. She seems like if you were really good with her, she could be really, really good.
Yeah, I think with any character, if you really know the moveset, you could be good with them. But hers is, I think it's easy to learn. There's a lot of movement in her moveset, and then like some of her attacks are stuns, so it kind of uses the enemy.
And let's be wrong, I ended with Little Mac, so
yeah, I thought you did pretty good. Did you beat me with Little Mac?
Yeah, I was the last one, and he's insane.
Yeah, he is strong. His recovery sucks. If you get off stage, he's just awful. But on stage, he's
but
really
we were
good.
playing on the stage that never ends.
Oh, that's true. We were. That's right. That's the best place to play with Little Mac because you have
Paulina's whatever.
Palutena's Palace or whatever. So
yeah.
There's nowhere. You will never get kicked off that place because it's so big.
It's just huge.
Yeah. That's right. I was playing Pac-Man. I like Pac-Man. We played a Pichu versus Pikachu round, which was
terrible because I had no clue where I was most of the game.
Yeah, I didn't know who I was because they're both yellow. They're both electricity. It was very confusing. Imagine a match of 8 Pichus.
No.
Or Pikachus. Oh man, well, that sounds awful. But no, it's fun to play face to face with someone.
Yeah,
co-op.
It's just so easy to play face to face too, though. That's the best part about it. Was just 2 switches right here. Let's just play face. Boom, done.
The setup was so quick.
Yeah.
And then I played the Messenger. I was standing in line for Critical Role, and I was like, I want to play something on my Switch because my 3DS was in my bag. That sounds like I'm really lazy, but I wanted to play something on my Switch. And I decided, I scrolled through my games. I was like, I'm going to try the Messenger. Brad, my friend, really likes the game, and I've been meaning to check it out. And it just went. I just sunk into it really easily. I find it to be the difficulty to be pretty easy. Though it's like straightforward platforming action. Attacking. You're a ninja basically or a samurai attacking enemies. And there's not a lot of enemy variety. It's really kind of repeats a lot, and the platforming is kind of similar to the platforming in Hollow Knight, where it's functional, but it's not super interesting or super difficult. There are some hidden things around that aren't too hard to see. But I know there's a twist coming where I move from the 8-bit to the 16-bit, basically. And I wonder how that's going to change the difficulty of the game. Because so far, there's one boss where I died to like 3 or 4 times, but other than that, it's been pretty easy.
Yeah.
Overall, which has kind of been nice to just kind of cruise through the game. I don't know if I was actually looking for a challenge, but I was surprised because I thought I heard that it was a pretty difficult game, but so far it's easy.
But you know that there's a twist coming up or something changes in it, so maybe that part is hard?
Yeah, maybe that's what makes it harder. I don't know.
So...
yeah, part of it, there's like a cloud stepping thing or whatever, where like you jump, hit something, and then when you hit something, you get an extra jump so you can jump again. It's kind of the way to double jump, but you have to hit something in the air. But it never really, so far, makes me need to use that mechanic. Like, I can reach everywhere by climbing on the walls. So I don't actually need to do the cloud step thing very often. So I'm not super great at that, because I'm not really forced to use it. But so far, it's a game, we'll see how it changes as I move forward, but so far, it's a game that's, like, good. I don't think I'd recommend it to you so far. We'll see how it goes. But I think that's all I've been playing this week. Because the rest of the week, I just worked my ass off to make sure that I could be here this weekend without feeling guilty about having work to do. Yeah.
And the only thing I played in lines was Rabbids.
Oh, yeah.
That was the other one because it was on sale. You pointed to me the sale happening, and I picked it up while it was, what?
$19.99 or something like that.
Yeah, something.
Such a good deal.
And I played through 6 or 7 battles. Like, I got to the first part where I could first upgrade my weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and then I went back in. It's a super smart game. Like, you said it felt like a Nintendo game. It feels like a Nintendo game. It does not feel like an Ubisoft game at all.
Right.
Like, from the opening, you're like, this is a Mario game. It looks spot on Mario. In pretty much all ways. The characters look right. Yeah. They respond right. It's just Mario with some rabid creatures doing silly things, but XCOM combat.
Yeah.
Very simplified XCOM combat. Move to cover. Shoot. Try to flank people from outside of cover. Use special abilities on your character so you can, like, move one of your characters to another one to then hop. Actually, it reminds me a lot of the jump mechanic in that tactical Power Rangers-ish game that I played.
Chroma Squad.
Yeah, Chroma Squad. It has the exact same type of team-up kind of thing going on there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. I want to keep playing more of it and see where this goes. And really, I have no clue where it is going to go. Yeah. Like, I do like the open world, how you're just exploring, and they
find different puzzles and things.
Find puzzles and ways to unlock and get more coins, and then just walk into battles. Right. Like, it's not like as discrete as choose a level, go to that level, like, play the next level. Like, it feels like there's more cohesiveness to the world.
Right.
It's a pretty nice feeling. Like, this is a good game.
Yeah, I like that too, because when you finish a battle, like, you're on the battlefield, which is just part of the world.
Yeah.
So it feels like a lived-in place.
Yeah.
Some of the puzzles I found, I don't think I found any of them too difficult, but a couple of them were like, where am I supposed to go?
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, I think it's World 3. But there's one of the best boss battles, like, ever in this game. You probably heard about the singing boss.
No.
Oh, okay. So when you get to that boss,
I'll know, and it's amazing.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. Especially if you haven't heard anything about it. It's great. I'm glad you picked it up. I think it's definitely a game up your alley. You know, obviously simplified from those tactical games that tactical strategy games that you play. Yeah. But it has a lot of those hallmarks, but Nintendo-fied.
And it's fast. These matches don't last an insanely long time.
Right.
Like, I think the longest one I've played is 7 turns.
Yeah, they get longer, but nothing absurdly long. And you just feel smart. The later matches that are just like, how do I do this? There are a couple where I just won by the skin of my teeth, and I just felt amazing.
Nice.
So it's such, for $20, man, it's such a great deal.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah.
But I think that's really it. It was Smash and that. I haven't...
Oh, you've been playing Dragalia on your phone?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't even mention Dragalia anymore. It's just a thing that's there, and I play it, and I do my dailies. There's usually an event going on. I grind the event. It's a number goes up game now for me.
Right.
So.
Yeah, looks fun. It definitely entertains you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been our week.
It really has been.
Comic-Con and playing on our Switch, basically.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very quick episode 183 of Prof and Dev Play Games. If you like our show, please support us on Patreon. Just go to Patreon and search Prof and Dev Play Games. He's at Summerspeak. I am at Prof Plays Games, and we'll be back next week in different cities for episode 184.
Later.
Night, folks.